Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. I've just knocked off work for the week. It's the weekend. It's Friday night. It's time to get into it. So I've obviously done some beer reviews all the mornings this week, the Advent stuff. But yeah, it's the weekend, so I thought I'll crack a couple tonight. Good excuse to do some reviews with a nice couple of cold beers. First one I'm doing is called Big Doggo Brew. It's a tropical XPA, and it's by Brewery, and they're out of Victoria's High Country. So this one is raising money for the RSPCA Victoria, which on the back it says rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome animals in need. They've always had a good name, RSPCA. I remember them even as a kid. They've always had like good ads on TV. Yeah, just very good with dogs and cats in need, and it's normally the place you go if you want to, like, say, if you want to adopt a pet, that sort of place. And yeah, everything on the can's like dog related, which is cool. They've got for full enjoyment, pour into a glass, and spelt pour like that. Yeah, woof woof, good boy. You got all these little sayings. Brewed for humans who love doggos and great beer, Bright Brewery's Doggo Brew is a barking good beer with tropical aromas and a pawsome fruity finish. We're so portionate about pups that 10% of sales from every beer will go to RSPCA Victoria. And then, yeah, they encourage people to take a photo with the beer and their dog. Cool concept. Obviously, being the dog lover I am, anything like this I'm going to get around. And yeah, that's a Maremma dog on the front. And Maremmas are actually well known in my hometown because they guard an island that's like a penguin colony. And they guard the penguins from like wolves or any other animals trying to get the penguins. Very, very intelligent dogs. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, we better get into it. I've got my Hungry Jack's glass. And just one of my workmates tonight, she was going for a drive to the nearest city just so she could get some Hungry Jacks. I thought that was pretty funny. Let's get stuck into it. Hope everyone's had a good week. It's been pretty cruise. Oh, obviously I had that trouble earlier in the week with the bank and the phone carrier, but since then it's been pretty good. Work's been a lot better. So yeah, an XPA is sort of in between like an IPA and a pale ale. I think it's an Australian term, XPA. Very lively carbonation. It's going nuts. So it's like a straw colour. I would say probably medium body, 1 to 2 finger head. The carbonation is extremely active. It's like bubbles in a fish tank. Anyway, let's go a whiff. And cheers, Lee. Good to see you, mate. Hopefully all's well in the UK. It's definitely tropical. So I'm getting pineapple, passion fruit, maybe some mango, maybe a touch of like melon. There's a little bit of citrus there as well. Like a white bready, biscuity base. Smells more sweet than bitter. It's got that, I think it's going to be one of those crusher beers. I forgot to say the percentage too, which is 4.5 and a 440 ml can. And I think they had original just called Doggo Brew. This is big Doggo Brew. I can't remember. I think the first one was a pale ale, and they got a cat one as well, which is pretty cool. Give me dogs any day over cats. Anyway, I'm going in. I'm thirsty. Let's hope it's nice and cold and refreshing. Cheers. Takes me back to the days of drinking Stone and Wood Pacific Ale. Yeah, very strong passion fruit and melon. It's definitely got galaxy in it. There's no doubt about it. Touch of grapefruit, maybe some orange. Yeah, it's got like a nice little lingering bitterness as well. I didn't expect. So it has like the tropical notes of sort of like a hazy pale ale, but it's actually quite dry and got some bitterness to it. So it sort of drinks like an American. Hmm. Could certainly crush it. Yeah, it's got some orange, like some pithy orange, pithy grapefruit. Cheers, mate. Good luck with the tracks. I just heard a car with one of those Aruga horns. There's a lot of cars stop out the front of my place because the house across the road's got really good Christmas lights at the moment. I'm just pouring some more. So yeah, obviously this beer and the one I'm doing next, like tonight's two beers, aren't related to the Advent boxes or Christmas or anything. They're just beers I've had sitting in the fridge that I want to drink, but I also want to review. So I've got a heap of American stuff just ready to go, but it's like the worst time to get it. Cheers, Paul. Good to see you, brother. Yes, the big Aussie. Yeah, this is a beer that raises money for like dogs. Pretty cool. I'm always up for that sort of stuff. We have like an organisation here called RSPCA, and that looks after all the like I don't know abandoned pets and all that sort of stuff. That like rescue, rehabilitate, rehome, and anything to help them out. I actually feel like the next dog I get will be a rescue dog. I've always thought I want to have a couple of years where I don't have any dogs. As much as I love them and my life's better with them, I just want to be able to travel and not have to worry about them. But I reckon the next dog I get will be a rescue dog, and I just want to go into a shelter and get the dog that looks like it's the most saddest and like looks like it's had a real tough time and try and like transform it. It can be really tough when you're a bloke too, because there's blokes out there that harm dogs, and it can be real hard for a dog to look at a bloke again the same way. Yeah, it's always been a big organisation, so I thought it might have been like worldwide. They used to have incredible ads on TV with like dogs and cats, and then all of a sudden there'd be all these zoo animals, and that's pretty cool. Are you indulging in a fine ale? It's probably too early, actually. Oh, what is it? Early afternoon there. It's Friday night here. It's just before midnight. I got home from work about 11 p.m. So yeah, it's my weekend now. So I can let the hair down, get loose. I've just got to work 2 days next week, and then I've got about I don't have to go back to work for over a week after that. So I did think that I had to go back to work before New Year's, but no. So that's pretty cool. Yep. Yeah, you'll probably be live when I'm sleeping, but yeah, if I get up early enough, I'll jump in the chat. On Saturday mornings, if I don't have anything on, I normally get up and have beers anyway, catch up with some of you UK folk. I was saying too, Paul, which is pretty cool. That dog on the front there, it's a Maremma dog. And in my hometown on the coast, there's an island that's like a penguin colony. And they've got shitloads of penguins and they kept going missing and like they were going to be extinct, that breed of penguin. And anyway, they found out that foxes were getting up onto the island and killing the penguins. So yeah, they got these two Maremma dogs up there, and yeah, ever since they've done that, the penguins have been thriving. It's pretty cool. They've actually made a movie about it. I'm pretty sure it was like a Hollywood movie. Yeah, she's been pretty warm here today. Um, I think when I left to go to work just after lunchtime, it was in the late 30s, so pretty hot. Yep. And then yeah, we had a cool change come in just after dinner time, and so it went from nearly 40 degrees Celsius down to about 18 in a few hours. That's the thing with Victoria and Australia. It's such a like spasmodic sort of like weather place. You get four seasons in one day. Yeah. So the one I'm going to do after this, like obviously these are just spontaneous beer reviews. I just felt like a beer after work, so I'm like, stuff it. Yeah, the next one's called the Chronic West Coast Double IPA, and it's got the terpenes in it, so it's going to be like very cannabis like. Um, I've been absolutely digging terpene beers lately, so I'm looking forward to it. And that's by a brewery out of Sydney. They were sort of one of the earlier craft breweries. They're called Acacia or Acacia. One of the first breweries, like craft breweries in Australia, and they sort of started to go really good, and then I think they just got a bit too big, and then everyone else caught up to them, and they sort of fell away. They still make good beers, but you just don't hear much of them. I'm sure there's heaps of breweries like that in the UK. Yeah, this XPA is not bad. Definitely a sessionable number. Cheers, Bill. Good to see you, brother. Oh, my dogs can't settle. I think they're a bit uncomfortable with the heat. My Labrador grew up in a environment where it was like 40 plus degrees Celsius his whole puppy life. But and he's always loved the heat, well, loves the water as well. But yeah, now that he's like really old and frail and that he doesn't really like it. It'd be tough. It's probably the equivalent of being like a 90-year-old human just out in the elements. Poor fella. Yeah. There's actually a brewery here, Bill, and they're a proper craft brewery, but now they've got a whole range of dog beers. And what it is it's a lot of like juices from marrow and all that sort of shit. Um, yeah, you smell it, and it doesn't smell too good. It sort of smells like, yeah, like meat bones, but also like oats and all that sort of shit. But yeah, I gave Angus one years ago, and he absolutely loved it. So I thought I might even get him one for Christmas. Just get him a beer each. Be pretty funny. It'd be good to do a short of them like just both tucking into the beer. I could be in the middle of them drinking a beer while they're either side. It'd make for a pretty funny short. How's work been, mate? It's been pretty cruisy for me the last few days. It's always good to come home from work and you're in a good mood. So yeah, this one's down the hatch. So yeah, the actual area this is like Bright Breweries up in the high country, and it's the sort of place during the summer, very very nice, like good place to like go camping. You'd have like a lot of mountain biking. It's a good place to like if you ride motorbikes, like road bikes. Yeah, like some adventure sports and that. But during the winter time, they actually get snow nearby, so it's a bit of a hub for people when they go skiing or snowboarding. So yeah, it's pretty cool that they got a good brewery there. Apparently, their food's really good as well. Yeah, no, mine don't like it. If I sit alcohol, like if say if I just one of them come over to me and I just sort of put the glass near their nose, they always like frown and then walk away. And like when I've put a little bit in bowl to see if they drink it, it's like, nah, get that shit away from me. But then yeah, like I've seen other dogs, like mates' dogs, that'll just fucking guzzle it. Oh yeah, cool. That's always good, especially at the cost of living where you are. Yeah, fucking LA's like Melbourne, just so fucking overpriced. Melbourne and Sydney are both, yeah, very similar to like LA and New York. Like you can't even get a basic house now for like under, I don't know, 1.5 million sort of thing. It's like just fucking ridiculous. London's sort of the same. Oh, yeah, exactly. I was watching something today. How fucked is this, right? And you're a person that has like some past, so you could relate to this sort of stuff. So there's an area in Melbourne, right? It's a very big suburb, so it has different parts of the suburb. Like it has some real fancy areas and some real dives. And it's probably like the worst area in Melbourne for heroin. There's a lot of like the big high rise commission flat buildings. You'll get a lot of junkies that live in those. There's a lot of Vietnamese back in the day, so that's where it sort of started. Um, anyway, the very left leaning government a couple of years ago, thought it would be a good idea to have a drug injecting facility, put it right in the heart of this park, right next to a fucking primary school. And I'm watching this documentary just thinking, what the fuck? Like, there's these kids playing in the primary school, and right in front of where they're playing, there's people dealing and like shooting up, and there's fucking syringes everywhere. It's just like, oh my god. I can't believe the government approved that sort of thing. It's just like, wow. It's so fucked. And then like people saying, "Oh yeah, he did a really good job." It's like that isn't good. That's terrible. If you're gonna have that sort of shit, have it like out in the sticks. Like put it in an industrial area at least. Not don't have it like where children are for starters. Yeah, so apparently there's a primary school right next door to where the shoot up is. And then there's a kindergarten just down the road. And then there's all these like real flash homes where people keep getting like fucking broken into and finding syringes in their front yards and having their fucking hoses stolen and taps broken. And, yeah, it's crazy. That'd be funny. It's like Gladiator. Put him in the Colosseum. Oh, shit. Anyway, better get off that topic because it could cause a stir. Sometimes though, you just get like on a tangent with something. It's like you just have it in. That's the beauty of going live. You just have something on your mind, and it's like you need to get it out. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll wrap this one up here. I better give it a score. So I'd probably say I reckon a solid 4 out of 5. It's like quite a crushable XPA. And as I said, an XPA is sort of like in between a pale and an IPA. Yeah, just I think it's an Australian term. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. But yeah, 4 out of 5. Bright brewery, good brewery, always pretty solid. And yeah, hopefully they do more of this sort of stuff. Raising awareness of good old doggos and the RSPCA. So yeah, I'll wrap this up, and if anyone wants to see some more, I'll do this chronic beer in about 5-10 minutes. Cheers.